Hey guys, fantasy football is almost here, and now you finally have a chance to, yes, try to beat the counselor. I am doing a best ball league with you guys. If you guys want in, DM me at Fantasy Football Counselor on my Instagram. There's also a link below. Follow on Instagram and DM me the word BEAT, B-E-A-T, like beat the counselor, right? It's going to be a best ball league. There's going to be a prize, about $1,000 worth prize. Still trying to decide what the prize is. It might be a signed Pat Mahomes mini helmet, something cool like that. And once you guys DM me, I'll send you guys a link to enter this best ball league. It's going to be limited to X amount of people. I think we've got it about 300 people right now, but it might even blow up. It might even open up a second league, right? Because of the demand. So free to enter, guys. DM me the word BEAT and join the best ball league and try to beat the counselor this year at what I do best, fantasy football. Now, before we get into this show, guys, also head over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get the 16-round draft solution, the first ever and only video training available now. Thefantasyfootballcounselor.com or link here below. All right, guys, let's get to the show. We are talking about wide receiver must-haves. Let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Wide receiver must-haves. I'm excited about this show. I love wide receivers, and there is a ton of value later on. Now, I want to do a disclaimer here. Wide receiver must-haves. There really isn't any wide receivers I must have early. I'm more of a robust RB guy. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, there really isn't a wide receiver I must have early on, but there is some value here. Now, again, this is an open discussion. I don't really want to make a list of guys. It's going to end up being a bit of a list, but I'm kind of having an open discussion, looking at some wide receivers and situations here and laying out some guys for you. Even some wide receiver sleepers here we could discuss and tell you that based on value, you must have them, okay? Before we get into that, also, guys, manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. Head on over there right now. Save 20%. Amazing products. Lawnmower 4.0 is now out. Groom well, and don't worry about getting nicked and cut. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. Save yourself 20%. Go do that right now. Smash thumbs up. And as I said in the intro here before, get the 16-round draft. So you linked it here below. What are you waiting for, guys? The season is almost here. All right, so let's get to it, guys. So wide receiver must-haves. Now, there's going to be a ton of early guys coming off the board, and we saw how catastrophic it is getting a wide receiver early. We saw it last year. We saw it with Michael Thomas being a top 5 pick across the board, number 1 fantasy football wide receiver off the board last year, and I said avoid him. Stay away from Michael Thomas. He was coming off a pinnacle year, and with wide receivers, there was a ton of value. I told you to get Jefferson in the 16-round draft solution last year in the 8th round. People were happy while the mainstream were calling him a waiver wire wonder. There is a ton of value at wide receiver, and I implore you guys to wait on wide receiver. And here's a fantasy football draft strategy before I get into this. Make sure you write this down. You get a lot of value, and all you got to do is aim high on the depth chart later on, okay? You stash a couple of these guys, and I'm telling you, you're going to be very happy. And there's a slew, man, a whole list of wide receiver ones here that you don't have to pay early picks. Like, for example, right now, Julio Jones, we don't know where he's going to land at the time of this recording, but he's going to be slated number 1 wide receiver wherever he lands. He's sitting 14th amongst wide receivers, okay? Let me keep going. Adam Thielen sitting 17th amongst wide receivers. He still is kind of technically the wide receiver 1 there. I know you can say Jefferson. He's got more ceiling younger, but Thielen is still good, okay? Let me keep going. Kenny Galladay, although the volume might not be there, but Kenny Galladay. Cortland Sutton sitting 25th amongst wide receivers. Technically the wide receiver 1. Yes, he's got Jerry Jeudy, but all these guys have another wide receiver to contend with, which can be a good thing at some times, right? Cooper Kupp, 27th amongst wide receivers, technically a wide receiver 1, right? Deontay Johnson, 28th, wide receiver 1. DJ Chark, wide receiver 1. JaMarr Chase could be a wide receiver 1, right? And it keeps Robbie Anderson's 38th amongst wide receivers, and he's sitting, 38th amongst wide receivers in PPR. And this guy, that's standard here, whatever, 38th, let me just filter this out. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at this, and you're seeing this sheep ranking. Sorry, Robbie Anderson's 31st on amongst wide receivers. But the point I'm trying to make is, I'm talking standard here, but these guys are huge value. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. I'm seeing, like, it's so exciting. Devonta Smith, 41st. Michael Pittman. Like, there's so many wide receiver ones potentially that you could stash a slew of these guys, a whack of these guys on your roster. and you're going to get amazing value, right? After you've loaded up on your workhorse running backs, okay? So everybody's all like, yeah, I got to go wide receiver 1. I got to go wide receiver early. I got to go like first, second round. I'm going to get my Metcalf, got to get my Calvin Ridley, got to get my Devonta Adams. But decline is imminent for guys like Devonta Adams. And like, you're going to get guys later that are going to probably and potentially outperform these guys. There's no guarantee that if you go, Devonta Adams in the first or second round, that guy is going to crush it for you. So I implore you guys, it's very important. It's very, very important that you wait on wide receiver, and there's a ton of value later. And I talk about this in the 16-round drafts, which is a ton of value later. Load up on these guys. You're going to be fine. So let me give you guys a couple must-haves for me that I think are immense value here. I really like, I could be a total bust here, but DJ Chark sitting against PPR here, 29th amongst wide receivers. And again, Trevor Lawrence coming in as a rookie, obviously promoted as a top quarterback, right? Trevor Lawrence, they've got a running game with Travis and James Robinson there, and then I look at Chark and I look at him saying he is going to be the number one guy there. I mean, he has to be. There's no one else there that's going to be the guy. So if he's going to be the guy last year leading in targets, actually, where was he last year? He had 93 in targets, and he had a mess at quarterback. Who was it? It was like, what? Was it Glennon and Minshew? Like, that was his quarterbacks. Now he's got an ultra elite quarterback. So the opportunity is there for Chark. He's got to be a must-have based on value. I can get him at the 5th or after the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is immense value for a wide receiver 1. After the 5th round, are you kidding me? Another must-have for me that I'm looking at here, again, is Adam Thielen. I mean, like Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen. Let's pair these guys together, 21 and 22. I mean, why wouldn't you? I can get these guys for great value, 4th, 5th, 6th round, anywhere in there, and I'm getting potentially a wide receiver 1, a guy that's going to get volume and be the wide receiver 1 on his team. Why has Thielen dropped? Well, because Jefferson stepped up, right? But that's good. That's good because this is a guy that was being drafted very early in 2020. Going to 2021, I mean, why not? Like I said, you've already secured your robust RBs. Now you're looking at some wide receivers. Why wouldn't Thielen be on the list, okay? Must have. I mean, why not? See, I see DJ Moore here sitting ahead of him. DJ Moore sucked last year. DJ Moore was a guy that was drafted in the 3rd round by everybody when I said, avoid this guy. Robbie Anderson's the one, yet DJ Moore is ranked, 19th compared to, where's Robbie Anderson? Like, Robbie Anderson is way down here, 31 compared to, 19? Robbie Anderson's the wide receiver 1 there, yet they still put, DJ Moore there because they want to save face. I know what they're doing. The Sheep have like a set mindset of this sheep herd mentality, and they have certain players, the popular players, or just names that they kind of believe in, and they continue to promote those guys. And it's a shame. Like, why is Robert Woods sitting 16th ahead of guys like Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen, Kenny Golladay, DJ Chark, Cortland Sutton? Like, it's absolutely ludicrous, right? They have certain guys they're set on, and those are the guys they kind of promote. So again, when you look at must-haves, you got to look at the situation, you got to look at the value, and you got to look at the depth chart. So Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen are going to be set for volume, okay? So is Cortland Sutton when he plays. Cortland Sutton, another guy sitting 30th on the consensus rankings, the consensus, who is going to be a wide receiver 1. DJ Chark, 29th on the consensus rankings, who's going to be a wide receiver 1. These are the guys that I must have. I don't must have, Devonta Adams, a guy that came off an 18 touchdown season, due for a decline, predicated on the fact that, Aaron Rodgers had the career game, season of his life, MVP season. It's going to decline. There's no way Aaron Rodgers is going to finish on top again, especially with all the drama going on. Okay? So they're a must-have. Now, there's another guy that tempts me here based on the quarterback as a must-have. I kind of like Keenan Allen. There's something about him I like. It's the quarterback, right? Again, is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to be the guy? They did draft Palmer, a rookie there. They've improved that O-line. Palmer could be a big fantasy football sleeper there for you. And I don't even know where he's ranked. He's probably way down, but down. People are just not even going to look at him. But you definitely want to look at Josh. Write this name down, okay? Josh Palmer. Write it down. He is a wide receiver for the Chargers, okay? Canadian-born. He was drafted in the 3rd round. I was just trying to look at his ADP here. He's out of Tennessee. He was drafted in the 3rd round, pick 77. I mean, it's not like an early draft pick, but a guy that could thrive because I'm not sold on Williams, and these guys tend to not finish season. So Palmer could be a really sneaky sleeper here, and I'm going to be doing sleeper episodes, more on that later. Okay, Michael Pittman. I mean, why not? The young guy, they invested high draft capital in 2020. This year, he is poised for a good season, primed for a good season. T.Y. Hilton, I mean, he's a little bit, I would say on the decline a little bit. And they've got Carson Wentz behind a good O-line. Can we see the Carson Wentz from that year he broke out? What was it, 2017, 2016? That year, I think it was 2017. He had that good year. Can we see that? Potentially, yes. Robust O-line, running game, decent receivers. Someone's got to catch the ball. And I think Michael Pittman, for me, is a must-have, sitting 47th on the consensus consensus rankings in PPR. Must have him. Why not? Grab him, right? JaMarr Chase, 40th. Another guy that could be the wide receiver one. Now, you look at the Cincinnati Bengals distribution here. Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals here. And again, this is stuff that, it's thinking outside the box. This is not like, hey, guys, Adams, Tyreek Hill, Hopkins, it's stupid thinking. I'm looking for wide receiver ones, breakup potential I can get for amazing value, free. Some might even go undrafted that could boom and become the next Jefferson. I'm looking at JaMarr Chase here, obviously one of the highest caliber wide receivers coming out of the draft. Very early draft capital from the Bengals. You know what I mean? First round, we're talking first round talent here. And the only guy they have there, they got Boyd, they got Higgins. When you look at the distribution count last year, let's lay this out. Tyler Boyd had 110 targets. Higgins had 108. But Burrow was banged up, gone. I think it was week 10 or whatever. He was gone. Burrow's going to potentially come back healthy. He's going to be in sync with his receivers. A.J. Green is gone. A.J. Green hoarded it away. Listen to this, 104 targets. So now you've got 104 targets freed up. Now it all depends on who Burrow's going to gravitate to. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be JaMarr Chase, and I can get him for free later for absolute immense value. Okay, so to me, it's not even a must-have for me. Is seeking out wide receiver ones that are primed on the depth chart to get some volume and get them as a must-have. Devonta Smith, now I'm not sold on the Eagles, but you never know. Devonta Smith sitting right now at 45th amongst the consensus ranking. So, I mean, we are talking great value here on these guys, and you don't have to pay a hefty price, okay? So a must-have for the consensus might be Devonta Adams. A must-have for me for value is some of these guys I stated here below. And I gave you a ton of information here. It's not about copy and paste or thinking hey, let's draft in the order of ADP. It's about, let's take a look at the depth chart. Let's take a look at the talent. Let's take a look at the quarterback throwing to him, because again, a quarterback makes all the difference in the world on the wide receiver. I look at Kenny Golladay. It doesn't really excite me as of now. We got a quarterback that could really shine, finally got some weapons, but then again, you got a lot of targets there. They've drafted Kadarius Toney. They've got a big running game with Saquon Barkley. They've got Shepard, a couple other guys there still, but is Kenny Golladay going to get the volume? That's suspect. So you got to look at the situation and say, okay, well, a lot of this is on the back of Daniel Jones, improved team. Galladay's there, but will Golladay be getting a bunch of targets? That's a big question mark. There's a lot of distribution. So then maybe I might flag it in my mind to say maybe I might not go Golladay. Cooper Kupp, however, right? Let's take a look at it, right? Let me pull up last year's stats. You could make a debate that, they do have an improvement at quarterback. The Cooper Kupp had 124 targets last year, 3 touchdowns, not very touchdown heavy there. But you look at 2019, when you look at Cooper Kupp, you're seeing 134 targets, 10 touchdowns. So he had a bit of a down year last year. You could say he's got an upgrade in quarterback with Stafford, and he's going to be immense value, sitting 21st amongst wide receivers. I mean, that's really good value for a guy who could be the wide receiver one. I think he's a better wide receiver than Robert Woods, who's slated ahead of him, and they're both going to probably get equal share. Again, a lot of this is dependent on who Stafford tends to gravitate to. But again, you're getting good value, and you're going to get relatively solid production and capability and fantasy production out of these guys. So again, you got to look at the scenario. Now, you got to also look at target distribution when you're looking at these, when you have a must-have. Again, you look at CeeDee Lamb, you look at Michael Gallup, you look at Amari Cooper, and I'm probably going to stay away from that trio there because, again, you're going to probably have equal distribution amongst wide receivers. I always try to look at scenarios where that wide receiver one is going to emerge. Now you're saying, well, Joe, a lot of those wide receiver ones that are going to emerge are going to be early picks, like your Devonta Adams, Stephon Diggs. I love Stephon Diggs, by the way. I think his ceiling is still room to grow. So Stephon Diggs I like, but when you got to make a decision on whether you want to draft the most scarce position, which is the running back position early, or get a wide receiver that could potentially bust. And we saw that with Michael Thomas last year. We always see it every single year with wide receivers. What do you do? And again, what works for me is get wide receiver ones for value over getting these wide receiver ones later. And it happened last year, for example, with Jefferson. Guys like Robbie Anderson got for super great value, and they really emerged without overpaying, right? Godwin last year. Godwin was the guy they suggested in the second round. I said, be careful, right? Coming off a pinnacle year, Tom Brady spreads the ball around. Don't draft Godwin in the second round. It's a waste. Load up on running backs. Sure enough, that worked out, right? So, again, you got to look at the scenario, quarterback, volume. You guys are going to be all right, okay? Get the 16-round draft solution if you guys are like, man, this guy makes some sense. He's not copying and pasting. I like the strategy here. I like the thought process. I like the research and analytics. Get the 16-round draft solution. You guys are going to be very happy. Helps us support the channel, but also going to help you guys bring home a championship. And you can get swag like this t-shirt right here, guys, straight away from the Kinship. It's all available at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com under swag. Thank you guys for being here. Smash thumbs up and let me know which wide receiver you must have. There's a ton of value, a ton of depth. You guys can get a lot of good wide receivers and a ton of value, okay? Subscribe, thumbs up, and I'm out, guys. Thank you.